In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about some reference that you can use for metric units of length. The textbook gives you some of these as well, and I want to emphasize that these are approximations. They don't have to be exact. It's helping you to visualize or remember a measurement. Saying a measurement is 13 centimeters or 13 millimeters, you should know which one is reasonable based on the referent that you're using. And the examples that I'm using here is that a millimeter is approximately the thickness of a dime. A centimeter is the width across your pinky finger at the nail. So if you were measuring something and you wanted to know how long it was, and you're trying to think, well, is it 13 millimeters or 13 centimeters? If you are able to put your pinky finger like this and move it across this object 13 times, then 13 centimeters would be the answer. That's a much more reasonable answer than 13 millimeters. If this is a dime on its side, there's lots and lots of dimes that you could put on its side to measure this object that would be here. So as I'm going to emphasize here, the referent is not to give you an exact answer, it's to get you in the right ballpark so that you know whether, for example, 13 centimeters or 13 millimeters is a more reasonable estimate based on the referent that you're using. A meter is the height of a doorknob or a small child. There are different ways that you can use these, and you may come up with your own personal referent, but these are the most common ones if you check online. So thickness of a dime for a millimeter, centimeter is a width across a pinky finger, and a meter is the height of a doorknob. A kilometer is a more difficult one to estimate because it's such a long distance. So for some people, how far you could walk in approximately 15 minutes, but that's very approximate. And I don't know, again, what your teacher would expect you to memorize here, but for example, if meter, which is our unit of length, is our base measurement, and that's in the metric system, that is for length, then a kilometer, there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, so a kilometer is 1,000 times more than this. A centimeter is 100 times smaller, so in that chart that you saw there, a centimeter is 0.01. It's 100th of a meter, and a millimeter is 1,000th of a meter, 0.001. And there are all of these conversions, that you could have. There are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. There are 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. So all of these things that can be very useful for making conversions. 1,000 meters is the same as 1 kilometer. 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. These are all useful things to know. As I said, I'm not sure whether your teacher is going to expect you to memorize those or whether they'll be on a formula sheet. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is just having these in the back of your mind for making estimations so that you can put measurements in the right ballpark.